Yo, this is Micah, the guest for this week's episode. The stories that I talk about in this episode happened in the past. The reason why I talk about them is because they shaped me into the person I am today, and there should be no reason why anyone should be offended by this. And yeah.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Shower Thoughts Podcast, episode 13. My name is Brennan. With me are my co-hosts, Anthony Chan.
Yep, we're back at it on this fine Tuesday with Big Mike. I'm glad to have you here.
And Ethan Chang.
What's up? I'm also glad to have Big Mike here. You know, long awaited, many delays, but we finally made it happen.
Yeah, and as they've mentioned, we have a very special guest here, Micah Ament, also known as Big Mike. Would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, hi guys, I'm Micah. If you want to call me Big Mike. I've known these guys all through high school. I'm really excited to talk about the future.
Yeah. So what did you want to talk about the future, Mike? Was there anything specific you were thinking about?
Well, I mean, let's be honest, guys, it's crazy times. You know,
Real.
everything's changed, honestly. I mean, this is like the future right here.
You're holding up a mask.
What does the mask signify to you?
Well, I mean, if you're not wearing one, people, I mean, look at you pretty nasty.
For real.
You know, you gotta cover your mouth with those nasty coughs.
True. I know you work at Mariano's. Is it tough working those shifts with the mask on?
I mean, honestly, when I first had to start wearing masks, it was tough. My face would break out, be hard to breathe. But I feel like that's everyone, because no one's used to wearing fabric over your face. Oof. I mean, I've been in the freezer a couple times, the milk freezer, the below -20 freezer where they keep the frozen stuff. Man,
Wait, what does that have to do with the mask?
I mean, you know, your boy's sweating over here, working hard, and you know that sweat builds up the mask, and then it just kind of, it's not feeling too good when you get out of that freezer. I mean, me personally, I'm not getting the COVID shot. I mean, medical reasons I can't. But even
Oh,
if
really?
yeah, because of my nut allergy,
Oh,
they told me that like I can get like a severe reaction. But personally, yeah, the COVID vaccine's good. But I mean, like for example, Mariano's is telling me they're going to give every employee $100 if you get both. So
both? Dang.
yeah, it's kind of sketch though. I get it. They want to help everyone out, but there's a better way to approach giving the employees money than telling us, yeah, here's $100.
So I know you used to work at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Man, fuck that place.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's up with Dick's? What happened with Dick's?
Man, I've been there for a year and a month. I mean, I loved it, you know, being an athlete in high school, loving to wear joggers to work. Who doesn't want to wear a comfortable outfit to work?
True.
Just the environment was good. I mean, I didn't like the people that I worked with, a lot of weirdos, but I mean, I just loved going to work in the morning, being able to see like shoes, sports equipment, you know, apparel. It was just like a chill job.
Yeah, I know we're speaking about the future, right? So, like, do you have any job aspirations for the future?
Oh, I mean, growing up, I've always wanted to be a lawyer, criminal defense. My twin uncles have been doing it for probably about 20 years, 25 years. I
You're
mean,
where are you going to college right now?
so I'm going to Oakton right now.
Do you plan on like going somewhere else after Oakton?
So I'm kind of in a dilemma with that. Been deciding what I want to do. I want to get my 2-year degree, have it, and then either think about going somewhere in the city, like Chicago, just to finish off my degree. But, you know, I've been thinking about going to like Florida, somewhere maybe more warm and continue my lacrosse career because, you know, I kind of like put it away, but I feel like it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so tell us about your lacrosse career, where it began, where it was postponed at, and just tell us a little something about that.
So I've been playing lacrosse for like 8 or 9 years, a
Mm.
long time. I started travel lacrosse in 6th grade, 5th grade. Played for a team called Team One before it kind of became more big. Then I kind of stopped to play football and I used to swim. But then I kind of decided after freshman year when I got 2 concussions to pick up lacrosse again. I felt like, that was my sport. Can grow out the long hair,
Mm.
flow sticking out of the helmet.
Lacrosse
And
culture.
yeah,
Do you
lacrosse
vibe with it?
culture. I mean, yes and no. Yes, I do because I love the sport. No, I don't really like the people that play it.
Wait,
Always
why
giving
not?
me a hard time. Man, most people I played lacrosse with through high school, whether it was travel, mostly New Trier, always just gave me a hard time. But I do thank them for motivating me because of them. Not only they made me like do impossible things in the weight room, but like they kind of like turned me into the person I am today.
Do you have a
So
highlight from your lacrosse career? Like one moment
dude,
that sticks out?
actually I do. And I
Mm.
I don't know if I told you guys this story. I think one of the things that kind of put me from being kind of like a scared pussy in lacrosse, letting the popular guys, the guys that thought they were cool, talk shit to me and put me down saying I suck at lacrosse to kind of moving forward, making a statement in front of the whole lacrosse team, all the varsity lacrosse coaches was tryouts junior year. And this is like one of my favorite stories to tell. So it was towards the end of the third day of tryouts. We were scrimmaging. And I'll never forget, the ball just happened to roll down in my corner because I played defense with the long stick. So I decided, whatever, it's on, I'll run it up. And it was a foggy night too, so it just kind of it's like a blur to me. And it was actually foggy out too. It was one of those nights where it was warm, but it was also cold. It was in between. And I ran up the ball, and there's this kid named Carson. Me and him never really got along. And I didn't even lower my shoulders. I just kind of ran up there and hit him so hard. This dude fucking spun and rolled on the ground. He didn't get up. I just kept going. I didn't even realize it was him till the next day. People came up to me telling me like, "Man, you fucking laid him out, blah blah blah." But I don't know. That kind of just made a statement in front of all those people. Like, this dude fucking works out. This dude isn't playing around. I mean, I didn't make the team junior year, but I still had travel lacrosse behind me. And I mean, I played with guys that were pretty fucking good it's called Team One. It's a hard team to make. When I first started doing it my sophomore year before I tried out for varsity, I made that team over like 100 guys, if not more. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, so because I laid him out and kind of made a statement, people started knowing like this dude fucking works out. This dude isn't, messing around. I mean, I was like heartbroken when I didn't make the team. I didn't even pick up my lacrosse stick for a couple of weeks because I was so angry. Because I worked out 2 to 3 times a day, 7 days a week. Whether that would be playing basketball for 5 hours or waking up at 4:30 in the morning, going to the gym before school started at 7. I mean, that's how consistent I was because I had one
What
goal in mind.
I was gonna say, what motivates you to do that? Get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Honestly, just remembering every single day the shit these people said to me, like you suck at lacrosse, you're never gonna make varsity. Just remembering those things, it like they like kind of like stabbed me in the heart. I don't know, it just made me determined to lay these people out and just make the team, show them who I am. And that was kind of my motto, you know, watch while I prove them wrong. I mean, you
Mm.
know, got it right
Okay.
on me, you know.
It's got the
So that
tattoo to prove it.
that was
So
my motto through high school. Watch while I prove them wrong.
we most of the guys know you as Big Mike. When did the name Big Mike come to be?
Oh
What was the moment? What
man,
happened?
that's another story. All
Mm.
right. So this was sophomore year in high school. There's this kid named Michael. I'll never forget him. Fucking hate that kid. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, I grew up with him all the way from kindergarten, so I mean, I knew him. I was used to be friends with this kid named James. I mean, total fucking crackhead now. He works at a fucking vape shop. Man, that dude's a fucking crackhead now. Lives in fucking Bumblefuck, Wisconsin, going to working at a vape shop. I mean, dude, come on. Might as well be one of the guys bagging a Mariano's right next to me. But anyways, so I mean, that dude, seriously, I used to be pretty close with him. Used to chill with him all the time, and I mean, people gave him a hard time. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
Kid was annoying, but he did mean well. So sophomore year, it was after school. So I was heading to go work out. Just happened to bump into him, and I saw that fucking Michael and a bunch of other kids were just giving him a hard time. At the time, Michael was called Big Mike. That was his name. So I went up to him and I said, "Why are you giving James such a hard time?" At first I was being nice. Just want to know like why they're giving him such a hard time. I was like, you know what? I'm Big Mike now. You're Lil Mike. And
Wow.
I shit
Just like
you
that.
not, just like that. I took it from him. And that day forward, people call him Lil Mike because he is little. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, and I told them to not say anything to James again, or else they're gonna have to deal with me. And I mean, they didn't bother him from that day forward. I mean, I'm
I can't
not
believe it's a
friends with that
wholesome
kid.
story. I thought it was gonna be like I didn't actually
Yeah, that's
think
really
it was
cool
gonna...
of you, actually.
Yeah,
That's
that
really
was
cool.
actually a wholesome move, for real.
Well, because I was friends with him at the time, and it bothers me. The one thing that bothers me is when people give people such hard times, and the worst part is when no one sticks up for them,
Mm.
even if you don't like the kid. Man, when I see people getting bullied, even if I hate the person, I definitely say something.
Yeah, even if they're a crackhead that works at a vape shop now. Yeah.
I mean, looking back, I'm glad I did stick up for him because I feel like he needed it. Some people need that little push to
Mhm.
kind of realize, like, man, why am I letting these people bother me?
Well said,
So,
man. Well said.
yeah, where did these moral... I know you're a really moral guy. Like, I always think you always have the right intentions. You got a good heart. Who instilled these, these morals on you? Where did you get these morals from?
Morals. Well, I mean, I'd say I have good and bad morals. Honestly, back then, I'm gonna say 80% of it I learned on my own. 80, 90% I learned how to have good morals, kind of build my own character. I mean, I would say about 20 to 10%, 15% of my morals definitely my mom taught me. Everyone's got to learn from your mom. Growing up, didn't really have a dad, so it was just kind of like I was the man of the house. And my mom kind of just taught me. I mean, looking back, she probably taught me about 50% of everything in life. Now it's mostly, as we are young adults now, we kind of just learn about stuff, on our own from like personal experiences, situations that happen on a daily to day basis, watching things happen, seeing things. And I
So,
feel like,
oh yeah, keep going.
and
Sorry.
then lastly, I just feel like when you have conversations with people, you kind of just pick up on things because you never know what you're going to learn the next day. There's always another day to learn something new. I really wanted to mention this one kid, Henry. I mean, I fucking hate that kid, but he taught me like pretty valuable lesson in life. I mean, he taught me that like people are gonna fucking be mean to the point where they're in your face, like about to like throw hands. And like there was at the open gyms I would go to I think it was every Tuesday, it was like 9 to 10 or something. I mean, this dude, I mean, he's crazy. I mean, he cracked someone's head open. I mean, I hit him really hard and broke his stick. This dude fucking drops his glove, gets in my face, and he's like, "What's up, motherfucker?" And like that kind of taught me, like, like this ain't a joke anymore. Like these people that are giving me problems are serious. So I had to learn that I had to. That's like kind of when I learned that I have to be tough, not just on the outside and the inside. I had to learn that I have to, I can't let people like say whatever they want to me. I mean, the kid always motivated me. Like I fucking hate him, but at the same time, I kind of appreciate him because I mean, he taught me a valuable lesson in life that you have to be kind of prepared for anything.
So I'm pretty sure these guys and most other people don't know about your middle school days, Mike. But I don't. No offense to you, but seventh grade Mike wasn't the most like popular guy on earth. But I think as soon as you started like picking up sneakers, you really like changed as a person. I feel like because your friend group completely changed, and like I don't know, you just started being more. I thought you were like kind of shy at the beginning, but then you started talking to a lot more people after you picked up sneakers. So Like what made that change?
I mean, if we're going back to middle school and junior high, those are definitely not my best. Dude, the one thing I hate about high school, I hate about school is getting your lunch tray and then looking around at all the people. Where do I sit? It shouldn't be like that. It should be, you could sit wherever you want. And that, to this day, if I went to college right now, I probably, like, when I went back to my dorm room, and yeah, I FaceTime my girlfriend because we're doing long distance, but still, it's just like, even if I didn't have a girlfriend, I'm sure there's times I sat at the table. I don't know, that's the one thing that makes me so uncomfortable because I feel like it's unfair. Why should you have to like sit where you're welcomed,
Yeah.
you know? And that's why I went to the gym, because it was just like people there wanted to hoop. I could eat a quick lunch and just kind of go on with my day.
Yeah.
But I would just say like fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade, I was just kind of lost, you know?
Mm.
People had their own opinions and judgments on me, and it bothered me, but it bothered me in the sense that they were right. And then in high school, I realized they were wrong. I can be whoever I want to be. I'm not going to let people label me as someone who they think they are. People can label anyone who they want to be, but it's how you respond to it, whether you let it bother you or not. And I feel like, I mean, honestly, I was looking back and thinking about it. I mean, I always had problems with someone. Someone always had a problem with me every single day. And, you know, I used to be friends with this kid named Josh. And I mean, he was a pretty cool fucking dude. I mean, he used to hang out all the time, but I mean, he wasn't the best influence on me, you know. He showed me weed, he showed me nicotine, he showed me how to almost get arrested. He showed me kind of like the thug life, if you want to call it that. But at the same time, I do appreciate him because he kind of put me out of my comfort zone a lot. He kind of showed me that just because people think of you like this doesn't mean you have to be like that. You can still have friends, you can still go on with life, and you can still ignore people. And he like had my back. He was kind of like my backbone. He was just kind of always there. Someone had a problem with me, he would be there. And I mean, people didn't really like the dude, but some people did. So he was kind of like, him being my friend was kind of cool because, you know, like you said, didn't really have any friends. People had different opinions about me. It's pretty tough. Like, man, my story about everything, people would rather jump off a bridge, end life there, than go through the shit that I had to deal with for the last 6 to 8 years. And shit's tough, but you have to learn how to deal with it. You have to learn how to move forward.
Mike, you're what, 20 years old?
Yeah, turning
19?
21 in August already. It's crazy.
Is there anything from the past, from your past, like childhood or even just like before college that you miss? You know, it's not the same anymore.
I mean, my biggest thing that I honestly think kind of hit me the fastest. I mean, through high school, I learned that if people are going to talk shit to me and have their opinions, my outlet would be going to work out, remembering what they say to me as I'm benching 250 pounds, remembering as I'm under the squat bar, squatting 250 pounds, or what, even if I'm deadlifting, picking up that weight every single day, even when there was turnabout, homecoming, prom, even when there was parties. All right, you guys go to the parties, you guys go to the dances. I'm going to be at the gym till 11, 12 o'clock at night. Even sometimes I would stay till 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And I would just lift past the point where you can feel pain. My muscles would be so numb when I get into that shower. And that's how I dealt with my anger. That's just how I dealt with all my problems. I took those problems and put it into something good. And I was able to like just move forward every single day. It was another day to chug a protein shake and get back to it.
So I know sneakers are a big part of your life now and have always been a big part of you. I know you as the big sneaker guy. So what got you into sneakers?
It was seventh grade. I was friends with this kid named James. I mean, the story, I mean, it was kind of a mistake. We actually became friends. It's kind of crazy. He always tells me. I mean, his story does insult me, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. That kid was definitely my friend for a long time, but I mean, you gotta be careful. That dude walks around with a knife and just stabs you in the back. But
I vouch.
I mean,
vouch.
I mean, but seriously, so 7th grade, and we looked alike, and this kid, we just started talking. We hung out one of the days after school, and remember, he wore these like cool high top shoes to school. They're black and white. I saw a little Jumpman on the back. I didn't know anything about shoes, and the shoes I used to wear, those are some. What are those shoes? I mean, seriously,
For real,
some
Mike.
ugly ass shoes. And I asked him, I was like, "What
We've all
are
been
they?"
there.
I know, but he asked me, he's like, "What are they?" And I was like, I asked him what they are, and he told me that they're called the Oreo Jordan 5s.
Oh.
I'm like, you're telling me these shoes are named after the food? He's like, "No, man, look at the colors." I was like, "Oh," but then I did some research. I was like, I was still stuck on the idea shoes are named after food. But then I realized over time that's the colorway. I started learning things. I mean, he taught me that you can make money off new and used shoes. He taught me that there's multiple colorways. He taught me that there's a market. I mean, back then the market was so fucking dope. Now it just sucks. You have all these resellers walking around, you know, buying out the store. No one else can get shoes. I mean, and I saw on Twitter today, Vice President of Nike's son. I mean, there's pictures of him with probably a couple $1 million worth of shoes. I mean, the boxes are 2 times the size of me, 5 times the width of me, maybe even 10. It's like ridiculous what people have changed, how the shoe game used to be. The shoe game used to be like kind of chill. People wanted to make money, but people wanted to have a dope ass collection. People wanted to meet people, you know, learn new things about life. Now it's more, I'm going to buy the whole store. I'm going to make all this money. Screw you. And it kind of pisses me off. But I mean, the shoe game has done a lot for me. Let's see. I mean, I met a lot of cool people. I've probably been to over 30 sneaker conventions. I mean, when I went to my first, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe how many shoes there were. I mean, I didn't know anything. I mean, shout out to my mom. She got me my first pair of Jordans. And then I got my second pair on eBay. And then my third pair I got at the convention I went to. It was kind of cool, And the shoe games taught me how to learn how to manage money. It taught me how to make money. I love shoes. I have probably almost 50 pairs now.
I have a question for you, Mike. I mean, it sounds like you're a pretty motivated guy. I mean, like with the shoe game, I assume you face like a lot of ups and downs. So how do you stay motivated even because you even said before you like would constantly get like shit on? And I'm wondering like how do you stay motivated? Because like whenever I get shit on, I kind of like lose motivation.
Which is all the time on this podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, someday more going to 8th grade, I started building up a collection. I mean, it wasn't that cool, but I mean, I definitely had a couple cool pairs. People can say whatever they want about me, but what's on my feet is worth more than what's on your feet.
Mm.
My shoes were definitely cooler than probably 90% of what Woodmont junior high people were wearing on their feet. Definitely more expensive. But, there's been plenty of times. I mean, up until high school, actually, no, I lie. Up until sophomore year, whenever someone said something to me, whenever I heard rumors, whenever someone had a problem with me, I didn't have the gym at the time. I didn't realize that could be a good outlet for me. I didn't realize that was my second home. I mean, I would just go home and just sit in bed all day, all night. I would just think about it, and I turned to smoking. I didn't really do anything about it. I just kind of let it bother me. And that's how I feel like that's why I wasn't really a likable guy, because of all the problems I had. It made me even worse.
The gym seems to be a really big, like really helpful as like an outlet for you, to get your frustrations out. With COVID happening, how have you been managing your stress without the gym?
I'm going to have a new story to tell people. I mean, after high school, I went to a small college in Iowa. It's called Cornell College. I mean, the only thing I was excited about was lacrosse, because lacrosse. I mean, I was pretty much forced to go there because, growing up, not really having a dad around, he didn't finish community college. I was always told, you got to go to college, you got to get a degree. And, it's always that one thing has always been embedded in my head, kind of implanted in me. Like, even though I'm at community college right now, that's okay. It's okay to take step backs as long as when you take those step backs, when you make those forward steps, you push through that, you climb that mountain. And, it wasn't the right fit for me. So I ended up coming home after a semester. I mean, the lacrosse team sucked. I mean, the guys were nice, and the part of my problem is moving forward, as you said earlier, like something that's been hard to, if you want to call it cope right now, is, I gained a lot of weight. I gained probably 60 pounds. Going to college, I was 195, 200 pounds, but I was 99% muscle. I was in phenomenal shape. That's because of everything I chose to do. When I came home from college, I just started eating fast food, not really giving a shit about working out. I didn't really care. And once COVID hit, that just threw everything over. I was just like, fuck this. I'm just going to eat fast food and I don't care. I thought food was, as I was eating those cheeseburgers, those tacos, those fries, those bacon cheese fries, which are so fucking good. I just thought, food was the answer. It tastes good. I felt good after I ate. I didn't really care. And then before you know, I look in the mirror and I can't believe what I'm looking at. I'm like mortified. It's honestly disgusting. But, now being overweight, I'm not really obese, but call it fat. Now I kind of understand why fat people have a problem with losing weight. It's hard. You love food, you don't want to stop, but when you recognize it and when you're able to kind of just like start over, it's kind of cool because, I was in shape, not in shape now. It's like kind of like another.
I mean, it gives you another goal, right?
It gives me another goal, but it's like another bump in the road. It's another brick wall telling me you can't do this. And I find, it's kind of fascinating that like everyone, there's not one person I don't know, always has a brick wall in their face. And being able to smash that brick wall down and being able to overcome whatever it is, whether it's small, big, doesn't matter what it is, being able to overcome it is like the best part, because then you have a story to tell and you can be able to look yourself in the mirror, tell people, I did this. I was able to do whatever you were trying to do.
Now, I actually have a question for Ethan. So you moved to like the Wilmette area, what, in like 6th grade?
Yeah.
Right?
No, 7th grade, beginning of 7th grade.
7th grade. And Mike was one of your first friends, kind of, right? Like,
No, that's not true at all.
no, when did you meet
Thought
him?
Mike was weird. Mike was really weird.
I
7th
was
grade.
gonna ask you. Like, what drew you to being friends with Big Mike?
I'm gonna
what
be
was
honest.
it about
friends
him?
with this guy.
Be honest, 7th grade, thought Mike was kind of weird. Mike was kind of like a loner, like he said. He's kind of a loner.
I can answer you. You thought I was weird. You thought I was quiet. You thought I was just fucking weird. You thought I was a druggie. You were just
No,
like,
not
man.
that. No, I didn't think that.
Well, eventually you probably did.
Is this true, Ethan?
No, I didn't think. I thought you were weird for sure and quiet, but we didn't have any classes together, so I couldn't really know you. But like, I kind of just.
I was in the stupid classes. Why? How would you know me?
I'm not the smartest
So
one either.
how did you guys become friends then? Because it doesn't seem like you would have.
Mutual friends. Remember, we were in the same Spanish class, 8th grade. Do you remember that?
Oh, you know how we met? It was through Spanish, but Ethan did not like me at all. I mean,
I didn't like Mike.
I was that guy that would just come to class, everyone would look at me and be like, "How the fuck are you here? Go jump off a bridge."
Okay, I didn't think that. No, I did not think that. I did not think that. Whoa.
Well, let's be honest. Everyone thought like, "Man, why are you here?"
No, James was in that class. You and James were pretty tight back then. You now remember James was in that class?
No, I remember that Spanish class was kind of whack. The teacher had like a man haircut. It was just like, it's like, why are you here? But you guys played volleyball together, I remember.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I kind of knew Mike through James, sort of, and James is kind of gassing Mike up, but it was mostly it's mostly Sotillo. Like I hung out with Sotillo like religiously back then in 8th grade. And I remember kind of thought Mike was kind of weird back then, but when he warmed up to me, he grew on me a little bit. Do you remember the Friday night skates?
I hated those.
Yeah, you
I
went.
got,
Why
I
did
got,
you go if you hated them? I'm so
man,
confused.
I have some crazy stories. I mean, I kind of went because going back to Josh kind of pushed me. I was like,
Oh
man,
yeah.
let's go out. Come on, screw everyone. I mean, everyone would go to that, but I don't know. Some crazy shit has happened there. I mean, I went there. Honestly, I just went there because I had nothing better to do, and at that point in my life, even though stuff was not really going well for me, I just thought it was something to do. Whether
Can I
whether
just
people are
ask
gonna.
what that was? Friday night skates or whatever.
Oh, it was like
So
Wilmette ice rink. On Fridays, you just go ice skating like a bunch of people.
Gotcha.
I mean, you have all types of people go in there. You have couples, you have groups, and then you kind of have like the loners, the people that just kind of go just to go. And it's a lot of like judging going on there. So you kind of have to be able to just kind of be your own person, just kind of do you.
I'm gonna be honest. Back then, Mike, I thought you made like the biggest 180 ever. Because like 7th grade, thought you were a complete loser. Not gonna lie. But then 8th grade, as soon as you started picking up sneakers, I was like, this guy is so sick. I actually thought I was really jealous of you. And like I actually picked up sneakers also, and it was primarily because you and James. Like I was just so jealous of you guys, and like I thought you guys were so sick for collecting sneakers. So yeah, you kind
So
of had a big influence on me.
going off that, even though eighth grade, all those grades were shit to me, the one thing that I had was I collected sneakers. I made money. I knew how to make quick money. I knew how to gain lots of money. I knew how to have a collection. Going off what Ethan said, whether people thought I was weird, thought I was a druggie, thought whatever they thought, doesn't matter. People knew I'm the shoe guy. I'm the person that collects shoes. And I just feel like that kind of like it helped me, but I didn't really want it to help me. It was just something that I loved to do. It was like a hobby. It was something that kind of put my mind off everything else going on, and I could just kind of focus on this one thing that was good for me.
So I remember you did garbage men senior year, right?
I did that junior and senior year. I
Yeah.
mean,
Can you explain what like Garbage Men was?
well, when you say garbage man, you think you got a bunch of guys on the back of a garbage truck picking up your trash, but you're wrong. It's a club team through New Cheer. So, junior year I didn't make varsity. I was bummed out. But senior year, I was like, you know what? The craziest part about me trying out for varsity lacrosse senior year, I was the only senior ever at New Cheer to get cut junior year from varsity lacrosse and then try out again senior year. Yeah, I didn't make it. I should have. I mean, two of the guys in my position, not going to say names, one guy broke his ankle for the whole year, didn't play, fucking sucks. Another guy moved away the next year. Sure, you need to give other people opportunities. How about my opportunity? My time was there to shine. But anyways, I didn't make it senior year. It didn't really give the same effect on me as junior year because I knew I had travel lacrosse. I mean, travel lacrosse, I played with D1, D2, and D3 commits. I was playing with people that maybe weren't as good as the lacrosse team at New Trier, but were good. I mean, they're committed to college. And the fact that I was on that team, I had that. And then also I joined this club team called Garbage Men junior year. It's a club team and it's basically a bunch of New Trier moms who started it and it's supposed to be fun. I mean, let's be honest. 90% of the guys would get drunk before practice, before games, get high. I mean, the problem with that club team was that people didn't take it seriously. I mean, you're supposed to have a good time. I had a fun time, but I mean, a lot of people gave me problems all the time.
I
And
remember I was told that you were kind of a leader figure on that team.
so that was the one good thing I got out of that. I mean, I won a lacrosse ball at the end of the year. They put All Star on it, or no, they put Rising Star on it. And I was like, man, I already am a star. No, but I mean, that was definitely one of the times in my life where I was definitely a leader. And, I'm not really a big leader guy. I'm more of a follower. I'm more of the guy that kind of just like does his own thing. But I kind of had to step it up a little bit because I played lacrosse for 6 years already. I was pretty good. What I'm trying to say is the people that played Garbage Men were people that just wanted to do an activity, people that weren't good at the sport, and people that just didn't care. They just had an excuse to go do something, to get drunk, get high. And it was hard because then you have me who takes the sport seriously, the person who, even in practice, if people weren't trying, I took it seriously. I mean, there was plenty of times where I would whack people with my long stick. There was plenty of times where I laid people out. And there was plenty of times where people would lay me out too. I mean, senior year was more tough for me than junior year because senior year, I was the leader, but there was a lot of people on garbage men that quit varsity lacrosse because they're like, I'm not going to play in college. I'm not going to continue this career of playing lacrosse. They didn't care. So it was kind of tough for me because I was a leader, but there was also other people that were maybe not better than me, but on the same level.
Mm.
I can relate to your story, Micah, getting cut from lacrosse, right? Because I got cut from the New Trier volleyball team. And I feel like people at New Trier tend to like equate their sport with their like personality in a way. Like their sport becomes who they are. So how much did it hurt to get cut from the lacrosse team?
That shit fucking hurt me so much. I mean, let's be honest. I worked out 3 times a day. I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning just to go to the gym, whether that would be go on the treadmill, do a couple of things, or do a full out workout. I mean, waking up early, working out 3 times a day, having that motivation burned on me. And I don't know, when I got cut, it just like destroyed me. I still have my motivation, but for at least a month or two, I just kept telling myself maybe hard work doesn't pay off. That was my biggest thing that I thought. I just thought hard work never paid off. I also thought that, I mean, you have to keep in mind there's a lot of politics with that team. There's a lot of better players than me, but I just felt that I was one of the better ones. But after a certain period of time when I've accepted the fact I'm not playing varsity lacrosse this year, that's when I picked up the club team. And then also I played on travel. I've accepted the fact that, what, it's time to get better because, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone's not perfect, but if you're able to learn from your mistakes, learn from the stuff you fucked up from and able to master it, which is what I did, that's how I was able to move forward. So yeah, I worked hard. Yeah, I did all this extra shit that no one did, but it was time to do even more. So I got back to the gym. I started doing more. I mean, during the summer, I would go to work and go to the gym right after. I would caddy for 5 hours, depending how long it is, carrying 2 bags. I mean, walking, I don't know, 20 miles. It's crazy. Right after, go home, change, go to the gym. No excuses. I don't care if my knees hurt. I didn't care if my feet hurt. I didn't care if I was tired. There's a saying that I love. You can sleep when you're dead. I mean, I just love that because it's just like, it's true. We all get tired, but it's about being able to just move forward.
Speaking on sleep or going off that,
Oh God, I know what you're gonna ask.
what are your thoughts on naps?
I mean, I'm a big nap guy. Let's be honest. I especially now I'm pretty
Well
tired,
put.
But man, naps suck too, because I feel like when you're taking naps, you could be learning something new. You could be doing something.
Yes.
You
And
had me there at first. Now you're sounding like Anthony.
Well, I mean, it goes both ways. Naps are important because, sometimes you need that extra 15 minutes. Sometimes you need that extra hour, 2 hour nap in the middle of the day. But also sometimes it's better instead of getting that little extra rest, you know what? Go take care of your shit and just get an extra hour or two of sleep when you go to bed. You just have to like learn how to manage. And it's hard. I mean, I take naps all the time.
What happened to sleep when you're dead? Is it different for naps? Nap when you're dead?
Man, I wish you could nap when you're dead. That'd be cool. Just wake up, scare people.
If only, yeah. Now I don't know you very well, Mike, but you kind of come off as a very like self-confident guy. Like you know what you're doing and you know who you are. Is that like a natural thing for you, or do you have to like constantly remind yourself like what you are, where you've been, who you want to be?
Now I have to remind myself a lot, especially with my problems that I'm dealing with now. But once I learned how to build confidence, once I had that confidence, once I had that motivation, once I had that determination, once I kind of understood what's happening right here and understanding what I need to do to get better. Here and there I remind myself what's going on, but I pretty much, I was on the ball with everything. Here and there we all look back in the past. I always look back and kind of like remind myself who I am, who I should be, who I want to be.
Do you think you had to go through all the shit you went through to be like the person you are now? Or if you could go back, would you change things?
The only thing I would do differently if I went back is I would work fucking harder. Let's be honest. I worked pretty fucking hard. Some people would think I wouldn't be human. Who the hell wakes up that early before high school? I think people want to sleep till they really have to get up. Who wants to work out 3 times a day? You got homework, you got activities going on, you have life, you have stuff going on. So if I would go back, I would just work harder. I wouldn't change anything, because without everything that happened to me, with people saying mean things to me, without situations happening, I wouldn't have learned anything. I wouldn't be able to move forward. And I feel like, yeah, who doesn't want to change bad situations? Who doesn't want to stop all that bad stuff? But without all that stuff happening, you don't learn anything. You don't live and learn. And I feel like there's always going to, we're humans, we make mistakes. But being able to not make that mistake again, being able to be like, hey, you made that mistake, that's it, and move forward and just learn, I feel like that's important.
So I want to end this episode on a light note. So people at LT, you're kind of a living legend at Lifetime Fitness, the gym we go to.
They should put my name like right next to Lifetime Fitness, right?
For real. And is there any like specific highlight that you remember distinctly, or any highlight from anywhere, from like working or playing lacrosse? Anything, any funny stories or anything specific?
I got a couple. Let's see. At Lifetime, I had my moments. I would play basketball for 2, 3, 4 hours. I would play 5-on-5, full court games with adults. There was days and games where I would be the person that scored, like, I don't know, we play games to 16, 21. The games they played to 21, there's games where I scored 14 to 16 points. I know that sounds crazy because I'm not the best basketball player ever, but I don't know, just, everyone has their time to shine. And I just feel like there was plenty of times in a Lifetime where I'd play basketball and, not being the best basketball player ever, I still, did what I had to do. And freshman year, I tried out for the basketball team. Again, I was terrible, but it didn't matter. I didn't care that the whole basketball team, thought that I didn't belong there, thought that I sucked, right, Anthony? I wasn't welcomed. I wasn't that good at basketball. But regardless, I would still go to the gym every night. I would work out, take care of what needs to be done. But I would also, practice basketball. Whether I was going to make the team or not, I thought to myself, you know what? I'd give it a shot. I thought it was just something that I had to accomplish in my high school career, trying out for the basketball team, because, it's a very competitive sport. And I know Anthony made it, you lucky bastard.
I only made it 1 year, but I got cut the next year, but I didn't have that same motivation like you. So
yeah,
I would try it again.
But then again, if you look at Anthony, freshman year, he wasn't the tallest dude, and people used to think, he sucks because he's short. You fucking kidding me? Anthony had the best fucking handles I've ever seen. I swear to God, this dude would be right in front of me. Before I know it, he's already scored the basket. I was like, what the fuck? So that let's be honest. Everyone has their ups and downs, but yeah.
Are we gonna call it there for the episode?
Yeah. Micah, Big Mike, thank you for coming on. I know you came on the show wanting to talk about the future in flying cars, and you ended up dropping some real knowledge. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, Mike. Motivational Mike. Really happy to have you here. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot of jokes going on, but you actually provide us with really solid information. I think the listeners at home will have a good takeaway from this episode.
I feel like I have stories to tell. I feel like I have shit to say, and I feel like it's important that not only you guys hear it and not only I talk about it, but people can actually relate and kind of like be like, yeah, that part was me. I don't know. I mean, to this day, I can never stand up in front of a classroom, even if there's 2 people and a teacher, and read a paper. I get so nervous. But like, when Anthony was like, we started doing this podcast, and I know you guys like started this, I was just like, I want to try something new. Kind of want to just like, I don't know, do something that's different. That you guys would probably never think I would talk on a podcast.
Why don't you start your own podcast?
Yeah, the Big Mike podcast.
I mean, I could definitely start my own podcast, but I don't know. I feel like this was just a step forward into something new.
Yeah, Mike. You proved me wrong, just like the other haters back in high school and middle
Anthony
school.
was a hater.
Yeah, I am proud of this episode.
Well, I mean, honestly, last thing I'm gonna say is I hope that the people that actually listen to this, because everyone should fucking listen to this, should understand that just because you're in a rough spot doesn't mean you can't turn that into a positive situation. And I mean, I did it. All you guys listening, all you guys here probably would never thought that I could do these things.
Everyone listening, thank you, and we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
See
See ya.